Hello. Thank you and welcome back to MangAnalysis. I know it's been a while. It's been a really long time, actually. If I look at my YouTube stats, I think it's like 55 days without a video, which is by far the longest time I've gone without uploading. But lots of things have been happening in my life. Good things, I will say, that have kind of taken me away from this, and now I have a little bit more time on my hands, so I'm gonna try to come back in some fashion. But other than that, we're gonna have a really big manga haul video, not because I went overboard, well, because I skipped last month. I don't know if you noticed, I didn't have one in August, so this time it's gonna be 3 months instead of 2. So we have a lot of stuff, lots of new series, lots of cool things. Yeah, so we're gonna get right into it. That's not true, we're gonna do the cool intro, but with me talking. I'm having a hard time with my editing rig right now, so I'm just gonna wing it, and it's gonna go something like this. Welcome to MangAnalysis, where I do little videos about the manga I've been reading. If you like what you see and you'd like to see more, make sure to subscribe and leave a like, and let's get into it. I felt short. I feel like I forgot something. It's okay. All right. But yeah, so before we get too into it, I just want to share with you guys some of my little updates that I think are kind of neato, that will help give a little bit of context as to why I haven't been doing this too much. But the first one is my band was touring for pretty well the entirety of August, which has been a lot. We were touring mostly, like it was weekend runs, 4 weekends in a row. And while I still had my weeks, like day weeks here and there where I would have been able to edit, not necessarily the thing I wanted to do, you know, after spending like 14 hours in a van with 4 other smelly guys, don't really want to go home and edit a video, so that's cool. But the tour went really well, and now my band is officially broken up amicably, and I guess if you are curious about that, you could look at us up on Spotify or our YouTube channel, which is cool. So next big thing that happened is my comic is now on volume 2 physical. We had a Kickstarter. I made a video a while ago about it. This is something that I'm extremely proud of. My friend and I, Jesse, worked on this really hard. If you want a copy, you can find us at Comic-Con Ottawa. That's in Ontario, Canada, which is cool. Or you can always just send me a DM or something on like Instagram or comment, and we can figure everything out. So that's very cool, big part, and put a lot of time and effort into these. So it's another reason I wasn't really necessarily editing videos. And the other thing I wanted to share that has nothing to do with my absence at all, but just hit 1,000 subscribers on this channel, which is super cool. I'm very thankful. Actually, a lot of subscribers came in the last month or so when I wasn't uploading. So to you newcomers, look forward to hopefully a little more content from me. And yeah, so just wanted to thank all of you for being patient and for enjoying the content, and hopefully looking forward to more. So, okay, that's done. That's said. We're gonna go into this. So like usual, we're gonna start with new series that I picked up, and then we're gonna go into bulk buys, and then we're gonna go into individual volumes. So the first new series is Akane Banashi, and I'm starting this very strong. This was an excellent first book. I'm gonna try to go fast with these because I have so many books, but essentially this is another one of those shonen series that are atypical. This is all about like a very specific type of comedy or poetry reading that's funny at the same time. It's like acting, which is again not something that I've seen before, but if you like things that are a little like off kilter or niche, you'll really like this one. So for fans of Showha Shoten and Hikaru no Go and etc. So really good. Like a Butterfly, Volume 1. So this was a series that I had been meaning to check out for a while. It got recommended to me by a lot of people as well. I'll be frank, I liked the protagonist, but I wasn't enthralled with the story. So this is a 12-book series. I'm gonna give it to book 2 or 3. And if it grows a little bit more on me, I'll continue. But if not, I will let it go. But the first volume was okay. It was good. It was fine. It's just at this point in my collection where I have so much going on, I kind of need like a big punch for me to stay invested. Or a short series. Yokohama Station SF. So this is a 3-book series. It just started. This is based off a novel, I believe, and it's really interesting. It's about essentially a city that grows by itself and is taking over pretty well Japan. One thing that I loved about this series was the art. I think the world itself is interesting. I think what it suffered from, though, was, believe it or not, a little bit of a lack of exposition. Some things I think were left a little vague that I think could have been explored a little more. And the character interactions are a little bit awkward sometimes. But it's a 3-part series. It's a 3-book series. Really like the art, so I'm going to keep this one up. I'm just hoping that maybe it develops as it goes on. Flowers of Evil, Volume 1. So there's 4 of these total. This is the last thing I was missing from Shuzo Oshimi, the guy who gave us Happiness and Welcome Back Alice and a bunch of other stuff. Really good first book, really evocative, super weird, and will probably make you uncomfortable, which is fine, which is what you expect from this guy. So Flowers of Evil. The Summer Hikaru Died. So I went in a little blind with this one. I had a lot of people talking about it. A lot of other YouTubers I watch were talking about this series. The premise sounded a little wacky, which is fine. And I checked it out. And again, like a butterfly, it didn't enthrall me. I'm very curious. I'm definitely going to check out Volume 2. But there's just something about it that rubbed me a little strangely. I don't really know what it is. It's hard to explain this series. It's a bit weird, but again, I don't know if it's a lost in translation, but the dialogue felt awkward. So I'm a little bit sad about that, but I'm definitely going to check it out, continue it, at least for 1 or 2 more volumes. But if you like something strange, definitely bizarre, and might just make you a little uncomfortable, this is cool. Oh, and also there's a fun hint of boy love. I don't know how LGBTQ this is going to get, but as of yet, there's a little bit of it. So, Goodbye Aries. So, if I had to recommend one book, I think from everything that I'm going to show today, it would have to be this one. I mean, it helps that it's literally just a one-shot. This was phenomenal. I think it's a perfect short story. Tatsuki Fujimoto, Chainsaw Man, and he also did Look Back, which is another phenomenal one-shot. This was absolutely great. This is one of those books that you read, you love, and you read again. Can't recommend this enough. And that's all I'm going to say. Witch Hat Atelier. This is another one of those series that people had been telling me about for years, it feels like. Years. And a friend of mine, who I usually lend manga to, lent me the first volume, and I really liked it. And then he was like, dog, I'll lend you all of them. And I was like, no, I want to own them. So I bought them. I have the first 4. So this is going to be one of my stuffer series. If I have a little bit more space in my cart, or I'm a little under budget for a month, I'll be able to pick 1 or 2 of these, but I'm not in a rush. This feels like one of those series that I can just kind of read slowly and enjoy. So very good. Okay, so this is going to be a little different because this is actually a series that my partner is reading. Actually, that's not true. It's a series that my partner bought the first book of and was like, Jeremy, you might like it. And I was like, I don't know. I don't really like the stuff you read usually. And I read it. Absolutely loved it. And I was like, are you going to buy the next one? Are you going to buy the next one? Are you going to buy the next one? She was like, oh, I don't know. And I was like, I can't wait. The Witch and the Beast. So I bought the next volumes. I lent 2 and 3 to a friend of mine, but I do have all the first 6. So yeah, I've totally commandeered the series. It's mine now. I've decreed it. Absolutely great series. This is one that I feel not a lot of people talk about. An anime's coming, which is neat. Definitely check it out. But it's very, very good. Really good world building. The world is super interesting. It's a very fresh concept on witches. Also, so these 2, if you like witches, can't recommend these 2 enough, but really fun, really good mystery. Can't wait to read more. However, I think the books come out really rarely. I think only 2 books a year in Japan, and we're pretty much caught up here in the West, so I figure it's going to take a while before the next we see the next book. This is another one of my stuffers. I'm about 4 books behind. I think there's 10. So I'm just going to pick one out when I can, but very, very good. And again, another series that my partner started that she's really, really into and convinced me to check out. And I really, really like it. So I'm not really buying these books, but I'm reading them, so I will include them in this haul. So I guess I'm cheating a little bit, but that's okay. It's not about who buys what, it's about what I read, I think, and what gets added to these shelves. And that's the Apothecary Diaries. So I have to say the thing about this series that grabbed me the most is the protagonist, Mao. The protagonist is, I think, one of the best female leads I've ever had the pleasure of reading. She's really fun. She does not take any garbage from no man or no one, kind of, because she's still like a slave, essentially. But her attitude is really funny. She's really, really fun. And it talks about like feudal China. That's where it's taking place. And it's just really interesting. It's not really something that I'm familiar with. So it's like a cool history lesson. So yeah, so we have the first 9 volumes. I'm at volume 6, and volume 10 comes out in November. So Apothecary Diaries, good stuff. Okay, now we're gonna go in bulk buys. So I have Zom 100, 10 and 11, absolutely glorious, really, really good, continuing that consistent feed of love, and I can't really ask too much more of it. There was a really fun little development, I guess, that happened in volume 10. It's good stuff. Hayashimon volume 2 and 3. So the series is now over and I'm stoked. Guys, I don't like being negative on this channel. I'm all about the love of manga, but I did not like this at all. Again, I'm only really collecting it because it's a 3-book series and it was made by the same guy who did Hell's Paradise, so I want to support, but I understand why this got canceled. Nothing about this really stood up for me. Even the art, which was one of the standout things from Hell's Paradise, just felt lackluster in this series. The protagonist was extremely unlikable in my opinion, and I just had no real interest in learning more about it. So it be that way sometimes. I hope his next series is better, but we'll see. Komi Can't Communicate, 25-26. Super good as well. Honestly, like, this is another one of those series that as long as you put Komi, some people, and some good laughs, it can't really go wrong. At the end of 26, there was a really, really, really funny, cute, adorable little thing that happened. I don't know. It's not spicy, but maybe someone sprinkled a little bit of pepper. A little bit of pepper. You know, usually it was always some sugar, a little bit of salt, sweet and salty. It was beautiful, but this guy today was like, let's put a little pepper. This is a weird motion, isn't it? Drifting Dragons, 13 and 14. So yeah, this was fun. Drifting Dragons, just out of the woodwork, was like, here, 2 books in 2 months. And I think that's really neato. Absolutely great. It's so good to have this series back on a somewhat regular schedule. Had been a while. Yeah, the world it keeps developing is so good. I will say number 14, it was a good book and all, but it was a little hard to read, just in the sense that it was the first time that we saw like a dragon maybe not being treated with that respect that they have been treating dragons so far with. And it really reminded me of Shadow of the Colossus, where like you feel kind of bad for destroying those beautiful, big, glorious mountains. And it felt like that for me. Like the hunt was not as wholesome as I wished it was, but there's a reason for it. It makes sense. It was just still hard to read, you know, to be a part of it. Blue Lock 7-8. This series is actually killing it, in my opinion. Especially volume 8 was really, really good. There was a character in here that I really don't really like, and he had some fun development. And yeah, now I'm like, oh, maybe you're not such a piece of garbage. You're just like recycling or something. But yeah, these it's getting, you know, still a little bit emotional here and there, but overall good vibes, and stoked to continue the series. I finished 20th Century Boys. I don't want to spend too much time. Oh my goodness, what a treat, what a privilege it's been to read this series. I kind kind of want to make a video just about how I feel about this series, because it's been about a month since I've read the whole thing, and like I've processed it. I will say one thing that was annoying. So this is 21st Century Boys. I thought that this was like a fun addition, a bonus, an OVA, if you will, to the main series. And no, it's just straight up like the ending of the series. So I had 20th Century Boys, book 11. I thought I was done. And then I was like in the last chapter, and I was like, there's no way it's going to end in one. What? There's no way. And then it didn't end, and then I Googled it. If you haven't read 20th Century Boys, I implore you to please pick it up. It's a big series. It's going to take a lot of your time, but it is so good. It is so worth it, and it's beautiful. Okay, so now individual volumes. Let's get this bread. Blood on the Tracks 14. So second book now in the new arc, if you will. This one was hard to read. The last one was hard to read because it was sad and emotional and wholesome, and this one was hard to read because we're back in form. We're back at it again with the trauma. So definitely a good continuation, again, consistent, and just makes me super sad. So Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible, Volume 8. So talk about consistency. This is another one of those. So we're at the 2/3 mark now. 8 out of 12 volumes. This is a series that I have to wonder, will there be a spice? I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out. But regardless, it's very good, very fun, very consistent, and I'm excited to see how it ends. Call of the Night, book 12. So this was one of the best volumes of the series. Super, super fun. Kind of came out of nowhere. More vampires. It's not a tournament arc, but there's something about it that feels like a little bit of a competition. Feels like things gotta move fast, and it's kind of beautiful. So I know that the last few books, I found this whole series amazing, but you know, there's a lot of talking and not action. So if you're like one of those people that's like, if there's no fists, it's not for me. I was trying to do a rhyme there, but anyways, this was really good, so check it out. Mashal number 12. So actually, again, just like Call of the Night, this one was quite different. Yeah, this one was, again, no spoilers. Okay, a little spoilers. There's a training arc in this one, which is something that I feel was weird that we didn't have before. Typically they happen, you know, at the beginning-ish or middle of the story, but Mashal has a training arc, and it happens very quickly, so don't expect a few volumes spent on it. But it's really fun, it's really nice. Some of it happens off screen, which is a shame, but it does what it has to do, and volume 13 kind of promises to be great, I think, and I'm looking forward to it. Dangers in My Heart, book 6. Oh my god, I love this series. So I reread all the first 5 volumes in preparation for the 6th one, and I have to say, like, again, this is one of those series that I know I'll reread multiple times. Absolutely love it. And I've watched a little bit of the anime. It looks really, really nice, but there's just something about the manga that I think I'll stick to. And yeah, if you like anything Nagatoro, Komi Can't Communicate, Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible, you have to try this out. My Girlfriend's Child, Volume 2. Okay, so this is absolutely a great continuation on a phenomenal first volume. I'm really happy with what they're doing in this one. Again, like, this is something that I don't want to spoil at all, so I'll just say, if you read the first volume and you liked it, absolutely check out the second one. It's worth reading. And to anyone out there who is maybe planning on having a family one day, is unsure, is going through pregnancy themselves, a loved one, whatever, I think this is a great little story, and I think it can be maybe not educational, but I think it can give you some insight, and I think that's a beautiful thing. The Ancient Magus' Bride, Volume 18. Yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. A lot of it feels kind of a little random at times. So Volume 19 is going to be the last volume of this arc, and then a new arc's going to start later. And a part of me thinks that I might just chill at volume 19, stay there for a while, see what the next arc is looking like, at least read about it, and if it doesn't really seem like it's something that I want to delve into, I might just cap it at 19 and be happy with it. So, but we'll see. It's just, I feel I'm slowly outgrowing the series. I still like it. It's still dear to my heart, but I don't know if I want to see the main character go through a whole other arc. Like, you know, she just finished college. What's she going to do? Get a job? Like, I don't know. Kaiju number 8. Oh, number 7. Absolute bonkers. Really, really good. They do some really fun stuff in this one. They introduce a little bit more of like how the military works, and I really like that. I really like in series when I can rank the characters and they have power rankings and all that stuff. And this one does it, a little bit more of it, new enemies, so can't really ask for much more. Dan to Dan Volume 4. Balls to the walls, insane, absolutely love it. Introduced a new character. Seems kind of like actually there's a few weirdos. Every character's there's not a character that's not a weirdo in this series, let's be honest. And it's just really funny. I think it does a really good job of keeping it serious and funny and moving the plot along all at the same time. Sometimes I think it's a little too zany, but that's okay. That's okay. It's a very small concession for how much fun I'm having. Jujutsu Kaisen number 20. Okay, so I found so much solace in realizing that I wasn't the only one that was super confused as to what was going on. I read number 20, and then I went on a Reddit thread that was like just people being confused about Jujutsu Kaisen. There's a lot going on. So I reread the last 4 volumes, essentially the ones where like the culling game starts, and now that it's all fresh in my head, it makes a lot more sense. But yeah, I find Jujutsu Kaisen has a lot going on. Lots of terms, terminology, big words. I think sometimes if you haven't read this in a while and you're coming back into it, it's a little bit confusing. So I benefited from rereading the last few books, and I love it. I'm really excited to see how it continues. Showha Shoten Volume 3. Okay, so this is definitely one of those series that I'm sad not more people are talking about. It's so good. Yeah, they're doing the whole tournament arc right now, and it's absolutely insane. Like, so good, really fun, and can't really recommend this enough, honestly. Like, if you're just looking for something a little bit different, a little bit more niche, this is a phenomenal read. So, Showha Shoten. Kaguya-sama Love is War 26. We are so close to the end, friends. So good. So this is actually taking quite a turn. It's very different from what it was. It feels like for the last books, at least from here on out, I have a feeling it might not be as much about the humor and more about like really tying this plot to a beautiful ending, and I'm so okay with that. So it's not necessarily as funny. It still is funny, but it's not like as funny as it was. It's a different setting as well. But it was a big risk, and I think it's paying off really, really in a great way. So can't wait to see how this one ends. Blue Box Book 5. Okay, friends, I have to say the main character is growing up on me. She's growing on me. I made a whole video about how I didn't think she was necessarily the best female lead that she could be, and turns out that still stands true, but she's getting better. Really good steps, and I'm really excited. I still think, though, that the childhood friend is my favorite. I find her really endearing, and so far she hasn't really done anything to kill the mood for me. So, but Blue Box, babe, it's absolutely fun, and the sports are still killing it. Come on, bro, you can do it. Go to nationals. Shujin number 3. So this is getting there. This is absolutely getting there. This was off the chains. Really big moment happens in this book that was really difficult to read in the best way possible. Really kicked it up a notch with the whole, like, you know, world building and especially character development. Whew. So yeah, this is if you're still waiting on reading the 3rd one, get ready for a kick in the teeth. Way of the House Husband, Volume 10. Oh boy, this is just, it's so good. It's just so hard to find anything to nitpick about this. It's just like, it will never not be great, never not be funny. And I'm just so happy to have this series in my collection. So that's all I'm going to say. It's just pure gold. It's really funny. So that's all, baby. Record of Ragnarok, Volume 7. Okay, so it's doing a good job. This was actually quite good. This character in particular grew up on me. His body's ridiculous, power creeping, whatever. But this is the first time that I read it where I was like really enthralled with the dynamic between the human fighter and the god fighter. I thought they had a really good chemistry and the rapport was fun, and it was really satisfying. So Record of Ragnarok, just keep doing what you're doing, babe. Psh. My Dress Up Darling, number 9. Okay, so this is the first book from the series that I had a legitimate problem with. I don't know if this is a Japanese thing, if this is like a man writer thing or whatever, a cosplay thing, model thing. I don't know. I'm not a model. I don't know what that life is like. But the main character is brought up that she has gained a little bit of weight, and I was expecting something like, yo, that doesn't matter. Just do your thing. Be happy. 2023. And the whole, like, all her friends, or even the main character was just like, oh my god, I guess you gotta change your diet, eat less. And I don't know, that was kind of not really what I was hoping or expecting. Maybe beauty standards are different in Japan and stuff, but I don't know. I was expecting for something a little bit more progressive, a little bit more positive. Yeah, I don't know. It left a little bit of a weird taste in my mouth. But that's only in the first part of the book, and the rest of the book is awesome. There's some different angles going on here, as in like maybe a little bit less cosplaying for the main character, but she's becoming more interested also in photography, which adds like a whole different dimension, and Wakano is also into photography. So yeah, maybe not the best book of this series, but still definitely a good experience if you can kind of, you know, accept maybe cultural differences, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know if it's a Japanese thing. I just felt weird to me. Children of the Whales, 22. So I've actually not read this book. Like I said last time, there's only 2 books left with this one, and I think I'm going to wait till the last book comes out, and I'm just going to read the 2 of them together to maximize the positivity of the experience. The last few books were, again, lots going on, kind of confusing, so I just really want to have fresh eyes checking out the last 2 volumes. So almost done, friends. Ladies on Top, number 3. This was a weird one because the characters were finally getting there. They were building a good relationship. It was healthy. They had their own boundaries and they were moving forward. And then there's a new like antagonist or a third member coming in to make a new triangle, and it's like, you don't need that, man. The series was like, the characters together were compelling enough to drive the story. I don't think you needed to add that kind of conflict. It seems superficial. It seems a little shallow. I don't know. Halfway through the series, I just want more of these 2. I don't need the other stuff. Just give me more of these 2. Good conversations, good dialogue. That's all that's needed. Okay. Boys Abyss, number 2. This will never not screw with my mind. This was really heavy. Lots of stuff going on in this. Yeah, difficult to read, but I really enjoyed it. The first volume had a really big impact on me, as in like I just kept reading it, and I kept thinking about it. And volume 2 as well. It's been, you know, a while now that I've read it, and it's still in my head, living rent free. Boys Abyss, if you like stuff that will make you uncomfortable, check the series out. But I have a feeling it's going to develop maybe into a harem, which I don't like, but I can understand in this sense here why a harem would start, and I'm not upset with it because the circumstances kind of make sense, if you will. So check it out. Insomniacs After School, Volume 2. Not going to spend a lot of time talking about this one because it's perfect. It's a beautiful series. I think it capped out now. There's 14 volumes and the series is over, which I think is awesome. Don't need too long of a series, but this is really, really, really good. It's just pure, wholesome, fun romance. Not yet, though, but you know it'll get there. You know it'll get there. And easy recommendation. Allison Borderland, Volume 6. So I have a confession to make. I don't know if it was the last time I talked about Allison Borderland, but I mentioned that sometimes they had short stories that weren't following the main characters, and I found them distracting, and I didn't necessarily love them. Okay, this all changes. This one, actually, like half of this big volume pretty well just focuses on another batch of characters. The game is awesome. The game that they play is fantastic. It's absolutely phenomenal. And the characters, you don't get to know a lot about them, but they're all so interesting and fun to read about. So Allison Borderland number 6 for me was a really good book because it did something really well that I didn't like that it did before. So Tokyo Revengers 11-12. So okay, Tokyo Revengers will keep Tokyo revenging. This was actually quite a good book, I think. Again, very over the top, over dramatic, but really fun. I think it finally featured these new characters that were like a little realistic in the way they react, to things, which was, well, kind of, I guess, you know, there's always going to be kind of when it comes to the series, but the last 2 books I thought were really fun and really good, and I'm looking forward to reading more about it. So, Tokyo Revengers. Golden Kamuy, Volume 29, 2 books left. Oh my god, this was an excellent book. So the last book was awesome, very good, but there was a lot of development, and a lot of it happened fast, and not that it was vague or anything, but there was just so much information. So in this series, they actually take time to sort of breaking down, and they feature this thing here, the story so far, which sort of recaps the last volume, which was so nice, really appreciated. Yeah, this volume has a lot of really cool plot developments that I think most lovers of the series are going to appreciate. So, and finally, Rent-A-Girlfriend 19. So I made a decision. I'm halting this series. I will no longer be collecting it for the foreseeable future. I've actually been trying to sell it to no avail, which is kind of sad. Hey, if you're looking for this series, hit me up. I have volume 1 to 19 and Rent a Really Shy Girlfriend 1 to 3. Anyway, yeah, I just I wasn't enjoying it, and I had been pretty open about this in the last few videos that I've made. It felt more like a chore, and the series has like no end in sight in Japan. And I'm just kind of like, I don't think I want to continue this, so I'm going to stop it. If it came out tomorrow that the book was ending at like, 38 volumes, that would still be like a big ask for me, but I'm, who knows what could happen. But at the moment, I'm done. So, and that was everything. That was a lot. If you've made it this far, I thank you so much. I just want to, say again, a big thank you to everyone who has, continued watching my stuff, commented, liked my videos, despite me not really uploading a lot lately. I can't really tell you what the future for this channel looks like, concretely, but I can tell you that I'll be doing my best. I'm starting a new job. I'll be teaching. I'm an elementary school teacher starting in September. So I imagine that will take some time to get used to, but I'm hoping that once I have a little bit more stable of a schedule, I'll be able to put more time into these videos. So until then, thank you so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, whatever. This is MangAnalysis, and I'll see you in the next one. So thank you.